हाय ऑल। सो हाउसिंग प्राइस प्रेडिक्शन हमने लास्ट क्लास में डिस्कस किया था. सो बेसिकली दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट दैट वी हैव टू प्रेडिक्ट द हाउसिंग प्राइस and the data set is for California data set. And last class we have discussed how to download the data. So just I am running this 3-4 course already we have discussed in the last class. So this we have this is the fetching the data from the housing URL, and by using the unzipping the tar file. Okay, so this is the user defined function I have created, and I am just calling that function, and after calling this function the data has been unzipped into the folder, that path, housing path. Okay, and if you see in my folder, so it's created one folder name is dataset, and inside that, inside house folder, this is the target, this is the tgz file, and it has been unzipped, and after getting unzipped we have received this csv file. Okay, so this function works like that. And now I am importing the pandas library and numpy library, and I am reading the file. Now the csv file I am reading through this path. I have given the path here, C drive complete path, and I am reading the csv file. So pandas, the inbuilt function is the read underscore csv. By using this function I am reading the file. So let us see the first 5 rows, the contents of the housing data set. This is the different columns it is having, the different features, that is longitude, latitude, this geographical information, that median age, the total rooms available, total bedrooms, population, households, median income, and the value. This is the most our target column which we need to predict. And another column is the ocean proximity. Okay, so now we have load the data, and now just see the information. The table I have created, housing table. I want to see the information of that table, and it defines that which table is having how many record, how many non-null records, and it shows completely the total bedroom is having some 20,433 records, whereas the other columns are having 20,640 records. That means this total bedroom column is having near about that is lesser number of records than the other attributes. And also there is a difference. We have seen all attributes are in float data type, whereas the ocean proximity is having object data type. Object means this is a categorical column. It contains some non-numerical informations. Okay, another if d type is the function, you can check the data types. Okay, that if you could say the number of columns is SEP 1 is 0, and if you see the SEP 0, number of rows are there. This is 20,000 records, it's having 20,640 records, and 10 columns are there. Now, so this is we are printing the number of districts in the total data set is 20,000, and number of attributes are 10. Fine. So, and if you see the number of columns, the table having the different columns, there is housing dot columns. By using these columns properties, we can see how many columns are there in this data set. And if you want to see the categorical column ocean proximity, and what are the different values under particular category, how many records are there, so you can use the value counts. By using the value counts, dot value counts, it is the table, this is the table name, this is the column name, and inside the column names how many categories are there. I want to count the value counts. I can use the value count function. I can see the different categories having how many records are there. So this is something like this is the smallest category, smallest island. There are only 5 districts are there, and in inland there are 6,551 districts are there. Near ocean there are 2,600, like this way. So another column, another is the, this is the one thing and tell you about the describe function is the most important. So now let us see the housing.describe. Housing.describe, it by default the describe function describes the 5-point summary of this table, and this is the, by default it gives the 5-point summary of all numerical attributes like longitude, latitude, these are all the things. Okay, so the first section is showing the count, that means number of records are, how many number of records are there. If you see there lesser number of records, as we have seen in the uppercase in info, it is showing the similar information here also, that the total bedrooms having lesser number of records than other attributes. Similarly, mean is the average. If you see the average, the value, the average value is 35 in case of latitude. Like if a total rooms are 22,635 is the average rooms in the total in the total rooms attribute. The average value is this one. Similarly, in the total bedrooms, the average is 537 and population is 1,425 is the population, average population of this data set. Similarly, the income is that 3.87 or $3,000 $3,087 the average income of the people in California housing data set. And this is the target column, the most important, and which mean is the housing value is 20. This is the housing value, you can see here. This is the average. And the standard deviation will the dispersion of the data. How many data is dispersed from the mean. So this is the standard deviation, means the data how much dispersed from the mean. Similarly, it is this further dispersion, you can see in the there is this is the further dispersion in case of housing value, and the standard deviation is the higher side. And mean is the minimum value of that attribute, what is the minimum value, and maximum is the maximum value. 25th percentile, that means if you say the total rooms, you can say total bedrooms 297, the below 297 value, the 25% record are belongs to the less than 297. That means the 25% of records are having the value less than 296. Similarly, 50% of values are less than 435 values, and 75% of records are having less than 647 values, and maximum number is this one. This is the significance of this percentile. And the percentile is calculated and it is statistical. Descriptive statistics comes into the descriptive statistics. So let us see how it is calculated. So if example my variable is x and it is having the different data like 2, 5, 7, 9, 16, like this way, 18, 25, 40, 45, okay, then 75, 90, 110 and 200. These are the different data available inside this attribute column. And the 25 percentile, if you calculate, then the number of records you can see here is 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so there are total n is equal to 13. So the 25 percentile, if you calculate, it will be calculated like this: 25 divided by 100 into n plus 1, that means 14. So it will be like 3.5th value. 3.5th, this is the position, this tells the position, 3.5th position, 3.45th position, you can say this maybe 9. Okay, so 9 is the 25th percentile. In this way it is calculated. And if we calculate 75th percentile, so it will be 75 divided by 100 into n plus 1. N means is just 13. 13 plus 1 is equal to 14. And if you calculate this one, and it will be come around it is 10.5th position. This is the position, and this is 10.5, you can round up to 11th, that is the 11th position. Okay, this is the 4th position. If you round up, this is the 4th position, so it is 9. And you will talk about the 11th position, the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 90, so the value will be 90. So below 90, the number of records are having how many, the 75% of data as having lesser than this 90. This means 1 2 3, these are the records, 75% of value. So lesser than 90, the records are having 75% of records are below less than 90 value. That means from starting from 2 to 75, this is the, if you talk about the total records, it will be 75%. Okay, so this is like this way we can calculate the quartile. Okay, so 25% percentage is the Q1, and 75% is the Q3. And interquartile range you can calculate like this, like Q3 minus Q1. So it will be like your value will be like 90 minus 9, which is equal to 81. Okay, IQR. And your lower fence will be that is called Q1 minus 1.5 of IQR, interquartile range. So the Q1 is, we have calculated, that is 9 minus 1.5 into 81, which will be 1.5 into 81, 9 minus this, so it will be minus negative of 112.5. so this is the lower fence. And if you talk about the upper fence, higher fence, you can say the higher fence will be Q3 plus 1.5 into interquartile range. So it will be like Q3 I have calculated 90 plus 1.5 into interquartile range is 81, so it will be calculated, and if you calculate this, it will become as 211.5. so in this record, below lower fence minus 1.5 and above this one is called outliers. So outliers are lesser than equal to lower fence and greater than equal to upper fence. So in between this, lesser than this and greater than this. Okay, this, if lesser than lower fence, all the values are called outliers. Greater than upper fence is called outliers. So upper fence is 211.5. If you say this data point, so there is no outlier in this data set. If we talk about this one, so there is no outliers, because lower fence is, we have calculated, lower fence is minus 112 and upper fence is 211.5. so in this way we can evaluate the outliers, right? Okay, now let us go here. So this is the way we have calculated 25th position, the value of the 25th position, that is 25 divided by 100 into number of records plus 1. This is the formula, and that is the position, and that position value is for example total bedrooms, this is 296. That means below 296, the number of 20% of records are having values less than 296. This is the significance of this percentile. Okay, now it is fine. Let's go to the second part, understanding the attributes. So we have all understood that these are the minimum, everything we have discussed now. And then this is the column. If you know what are the different columns are available in the table, so this is the one thing you can use, table.columns. It will give all the column names. Okay, and the minimum, so housing, suppose housing value we want to predict. So I want to know what is the minimum price and maximum price of this table. So minimum is 14,999 and maximum is like 50 lakhs here, 50 lakh 0.1. So you can see here also the minimum and maximum is 5,001 is the maximum, and minimum is 14,999. Okay, and this is the another way you can see the minimum of the column and maximum of the column. And the unique values, if you want to see the sorted way of the housing values, what are the sorted way, the values you can see like this way. It is starting from already it will must be started from 1499 and it will be ended with this one. Okay, in this way you can see the sorted of the, by using the sorted function I have sorted the unique values. Okay, now fine, the histogram. Now applying the histogram, we can also define our the predicted value, how it is distributed. So it is clearly told that the data is distributed amongst 0 and 5 lakh. Yeah, and most of the values are capping at this point, because the records are capping here. You can see the bar is showing maximum number of records here. It crosses more than 1000 of records. So all this histogram tells that all the records greater than the value, housing value greater than 5 lakh has been capped at this point. It has been considered as 5 lakh only. Similarly, if you talk about the income, median income. If we talk about the median income here, median income, housing, not housing value. If you talk about the housing income also, so if you see here, and it is also, you can see here, it is normally distributed from starting from 0.5 you can say, and till the 6 it is normally distributed like bell-shaped curve, it is there. And after that is skewed towards right, and again it is capping between 14 and 15. I think it may be at 15. It is capping at the 15. The incomes are capped at 15. So this is the thing we can get from this histogram. A number of records, the left hand side y column shows the number of records are there. If you talk about this 2, so the income, having $2000 of income, the maximum people are getting like greater than 800 of people are getting the salary of $2000, greater than $2000. So in this way it is has been, we can come to the conclusion. Similarly, and all these graphs, histograms, we can see how the data is distributed. It is skewness towards the right or left, and most of the data are skewed towards right. Okay, and you can see like this way. And basically the income, and the income is skewed towards right, but it is as I have told, that is normally distributed between 0 to 0.5 to 6, and apart from that, above 6 the values are skewed towards right. These are the different we can get the informations we have extracted by using this histogram. Fine. Now we have to talk of this sampling techniques. So before using any machine learning approach, before moving towards any machine learning approach for predictions, so we need to divide our data set into training and test data set. Okay, because we need to keep separate the testing data. We need to untouch our data for testing. Okay, so hence we have to divide first the training and test. Whatever processing part will take, we'll do on the training data set first. For that we have to divide our data set into training and test. This is called sampling technique. So by using the sampling technique, we need to divide our data into training and test. There are two different sampling techniques normally people are using. The one is the random and stratified sampling. So in the random sampling, you can use 10 test split from sklearn dot model selection. We can use this one. This is the type. This is the way we can write the code. And if you want to test, if you want to categorize, if you want to split the training and test between, we can define our training and test as a 0.2%. If you want to divide into 20%, 80% and 20%. Okay, and what is the main important here, we are using the stratified sampling, because our income on the basis of income, we can see how our income is we can see by using the different strata subgroups, how we can make the sampling techniques, because we want the homogeneous subgroups. The data, the samples should be homogeneously divided into different subgroups, so that the percentage of data available in the training data set, the percentage of groups, the percentage of homogeneity in training data set should be same in the test data set. So the imbalancing of the sampling should not come into the picture. To avoid the imbalancing of sampling, use the stratified sampling. So in stratified sampling, we need to create different subgroups, okay, called status, and these status are homogeneous in nature. That means one group in training data set, if contains 30% of the records, in test data set it must contains 30% of the record. Let us see how it is, and which column we need to consider for creating the different strata. This we can decide on our correlation matrix. So we can create an correlation matrix by like this, housing dot correlation. So by using this, we can see our prediction that the target column dependent on which column. The mostly it depends on what column. So it mostly depend on our income. The 68% is the positive correlation, you can see, and others are not that much correlated, but the most correlation is here. It is the highest correlation you can get, positive correlation is 68% on median income. So let us see the median income, how it is looking. Okay, already you have seen here in the income, as I told you, it is already divided into 0.65 to near about 6, and all the maximum data points are falling into this, because this is bell shaped. I think it is near about 6.5. After 6.5, then it is skewed towards right, and lesser number of records are there. So we can create different groups starting from 0 to 6, and apart from 6, then we can cap all the records in one group with greater than 6. So in this way, we have created different status. How I have created? I have created an income category, the column, and it contains, by using pd.cot, I have divided my whole data set. By using the median income, I have divided into different subgroups, like from 0 to 1.51 group, it will create 1.5 to 3 another group, and from 3 to 4.5 another group, and 4 to 5 another group, and greater than 6 to infinity, it will create another group. So there will be 4 levels. So I have created 5 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 for 0 to 1.5, 2 refers to 1.5 to 3 category, 3 refers to 3 to 4 category, 4.5, and 4 stands for 4.5 to 6, and greater than 6, it belongs to 5th category. Okay, in this way our whole the data has been subgrouped into 5 groups. Okay, now you can see clearly here, and another field is created, income category, and it has been divided into 5 groups, right? Now let us see the histogram of the income category. If you see the histogram, there are 5 groups, 1 to 5, and it is data is distributed like this way. Now let us see further. Now we need to split our data by using stratified supple split. Okay, so the stratified supple split, we have to import this module from model selection, sklearn.model selection. I have imported this one, stratified supple split. Supple split means it will mix all the data, then it will split the data by using stratified, by using the different stats, different subgroups. Okay, we have created the income category here. So I have created an object called split, and I have used this function stratified supple split, and number of split is equal to 1. I have divided it into 80 and 20 percentage. For training it is to 80%, and testing for 20%, and random state is equal to 41. We can mention anything, but here I have mentioned 41. And I have created one loop, for loop here, to create the different indexes for training and test by using split function. This is my object. Now split again, this object I'm splitting again this object into by using my by passing one parameter my table name, another is the category. On this category I want to split the whole data by using this function shuffle and split, and with this parameters. Okay, and it will return two things. One is the train and test. Okay, and again I am just using that train test index and .loc by using the housing.loc, and I have passed this index values, and I have created this set. This is the table train table, and this is the first test table. The strat underscore train underscore test is the one table which contains all the shuffled data of the after splitting. Okay, and this is the shuffled data after splitting for test. So by using this two index, train index and test index, I have created two tables. One is the strat underscore train underscore set, and similarly this way. If you see here the location, if you are confusing, so I'm just what is the location. Okay, if I talk this housing table name and location 1, it will give my the housing table name. Okay, .loc I have to use .loc of 1th record. This is giving the 1th record information. If I press 2, it's the second row, the row number 2, the information of row number 2. Similarly, it is the index number 2. Similarly, the index, all the indexes I have passed here, train indexes and test indexes. On the basis of that, I have created these two tables: start train test and start test. Okay. Sorry. Again, if you see the division of the training and test data set, so the test data set is near about 16,000 records, training data set and test it is for 4,000. So near about it is we are having 20,000 total records. So the 80% of 20,640 is 16,515. It belongs to training data set, and the 20% of this 20,000 is 4,000, and it belongs to test data set. It is automatically divided. And if you want to split into 70-30, you can mention here 0.3. So accordingly it will divide as 70-30 percentage. Okay. And if you want to see the income category, how it is distributed, the data, what is the percentage of distribution, you can see here. The column name, the value counts, I have created all the value counts, and I am divided by total number of records, and it is giving the percentage of the different categories. So now category 3 is having 35% of records, category 1 is having 31% record, like this way. In training data set it has been divided. Similarly, if you see the test data set also, the similar type of distribution you can see here. In training data set 35%, category 3 is having 35%. Similarly, in test data set, the category 3 is having 35%. So that means in training and test, both our category 3 is having similar homogeneous percentage of data. Similarly, if you see the category 2 in training, it is having 31%, and in testing is also having 31%. So homogeneously it has been divided into in training and test. So by using this stratified sampling. So now we have what we have done, we have divided different we have created the training and test data set. So this will be like okay. Now so we'll see here how to let us now we can drop the income category, because this we have created for splitting our data. Now it is not necessary for a model, so you can drop that one. So you can drop like this way: training data set, we can test data set, we can use dot drop. Okay, and so we can drop income category. We can mention here income underscore cat, comma axis is equal to 1 by this way. Okay, now you can see the income category has been dropped here. And if you want to see the permanently you want to delete, so you need to mention in place is equal to true. Okay, so this has been dropped from this one. And similarly we have to drop from training data set. You can use this one, same method. You can use this without by test. So I can use here train underscore set and this one. So we can in place is equal to true, it will be permanently deleted from my training and test. If you want to see now what is the shape of training and test data set. So earlier it was 11th columns, now it has been dropped into 10 columns. One column has been deleted. So this is the total today's we have discussed. Next class we will discuss about the exploratory data analysis. Okay, enjoy and have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.